How do you create an edge in life? You know, when you enter a situation that you have an advantage that gives you an edge to be able to land really well. How do you do that? What I like to do is to separate an internal edge from an external edge. We often think that an external edge is going to make the deal work. It's going to say, if I only have this, if I have this piece of equipment, if I have this coach, if I have that, it's going to create an edge in me and it's going to give me the advantage that I'm seeking. Maybe I don't control everything, but I have a big edge. How does that work? First of all, have you ever wondered why edges don't work, particularly external edges? Let me give you an example from a friend of mine. Just so happens that a guy comes to my friend and says, look, our high school, we're tanking. We cannot afford the equipment to equip our golf team. And we can't give them enough equipment, even for the younger ones who are learning how to do this, to be able to do anything. We can't teach them. We're losing stuff. And for God forbid, the left-handed people. Can you help us? And what my enterprising friend did, he's obviously really connected to the golf community in our area. And then what he did is he started really asking people if they have any old golf equipment and stuff like that. And what he got supplied that high school forever. It's like triple, quadruple the amount of equipment that they thought they were going to get. And what happened is that what my friend discovered is that lots of people look at a putter, that look at a new piece of equipment, and will spend really good money for it, anticipating that it will give them an edge, in their golf game. And so they buy it, and they use it for a couple months, and all of a sudden it gets back in the back, and it's just sitting there. So what my friend did, he's actually secured all these pieces of equipment that other golfers had said, it's going to create an edge for me, and then found out that external edge somehow had a limit, and then that equipment was available. And consequently, the high school got really good equipment. Understand, this is equipment that top-end type of financial people were buying for themselves to improve their golf game, to get that edge. And so these kids in high school suddenly had dream equipment compared to them. What I want you to understand, that shows you the limit of an external edge. A piece of equipment can help you, and if it's the equipment that's in the way, you're there. But what most people find, they get an external edge and they still come face to face with the guy looking at them in the mirror, themselves. And so ultimately what we're going to end up having to do is not just have an external edge. That's easy. It's so easy to do that. This is going to make all the difference in the world. But to recognize what really matters in creating an advantage in your life is the internal edge. That internal edge is found by actually going deep inside yourself and recognizing that when you don't want to face something and you shy away from it, what you're really doing is you're looking at a teacher. You're looking at a teacher that if you have the courage, if you have the discipline, if you have the calmness, and if you have the clarity of mind, that to engage that mistake, engage that situation, and master it, what happens is you learn no longer to fear that. Understand, you do not learn from success. Your brain never did. What you learn is from failure. And as you fail, if you have the idea that, in my failure, the failure becomes the teacher. When you do that, you begin to say, it's not like I have to conquer anything. My job is to master myself, to master this aspect of my performance, this aspect of the edge that I do or don't have in my interaction with life. Because ultimately, friends, what you're doing, you are projecting your beliefs about your capacity to manage the uncertainties of life. Real challenges in life. And you're projecting those beliefs upon your life, the stories of your life. And what you're going to discover is where the weak spots are. But the weak spots are there to be exposed so that you can master them. So literally, as you make the mistakes, you're learning to say, okay, I can master that. I now have a greater edge. I no longer fear losing. I no longer am just all bent up a shape about having to win. What if really, it really came down to it, as the edge was the beliefs that you have about your ability to manage uncertainty as you meet it upon the road of your life. Yeah. And all of a sudden you realize that that edge is about your ability to perform under stressful conditions. That edge is earned. That edge is found when you master the fear that has stopped you before, that has been a roadblock. And in learning to master it, and you've got to have the courage, you have to have the compassion to be able to master it, what happens is you end up truly with an internal edge. You're no longer fearing it. You look at it and say, oh, failure is my teacher. Failure is my teacher. And I can learn to achieve by being a really good failing person. I can fail. I can learn. I master that lesson. I'm no longer caught in the loop of replaying that tape over and over again, of meeting that moment in the road of life and failing again and again and again. But you keep doing the same things over and over again. And accepting the failure, you master it. So when you meet that demon in the road again, you've mastered that aspect of yourself. Yeah. This is the internal edge. It's the internal edge that drives whatever edge you have in anything that you do. Because your sense of being, of who you are in the world, is no longer attached to your winning. It's no longer attached to your losing. It's no longer attached to, I matter if I win. It's no longer attached to my worth. It's dependent upon my performance and now by winning. And it's also my adequacy, who I am as a human being. It's not there either. What you've found is the inherent worth living within you that you're beginning to grow a different human being from. Friends, this is the edge that you really seek. The external edge, all those golf clubs that got donated to the high school, those were just a diversion. They helped you and had you believing that you had an edge with this new piece of equipment. But at the end, what happens is that, no, that wasn't where the problem was. The problem was right here. It's not going to be corrected out there. And what I'm asking you to do is to take stock of yourself and go, you know something? Have I really come to understand how valuable I am as a human being in the world of the universe? What if life really wanted to be in partnership, wanted to be in relationship with you, and there you are? You're coming forth because life is willing you into being. And you can interpret that any way you want, but the thing is recognizing that the truth is to a great extent, life is on your side. But if you insist on trying to swim upstream, it's going to make it more difficult. But as you learn the edge, you discover is that I can grow an edge. I can grow a new way of being in the world from the fertile ground of knowing that I have inherent worth. Okay? Friends, that's the ticket. Out of that, what you discover is that you're not defined by your performances. It's not defined by winning or losing. It's defined by the mind, the empowered mind that you bring into the moment of meeting the challenges of living. That can be taught. And what I want you to recognize is now we've gone through another piece in this book and we've opened it up and taken a look at it. And the truth is, are you ready to look at your failures, your mistakes, as an opportunity to learn? It's not as easy as you think. But as you do that, failure truly becomes an opportunity of growing beyond what you can do right now. And getting the edge, getting the advantage is about truly beginning to recognize that it's always been there And the failures forced you to look at it and to grow it and to build it into the human being that you can be. Come and learn, friends. Come and learn.